Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, welcome to the Brotherhood of Wrestling podcast, episode 2. This is going to be dedicated to SummerSlam, which was yesterday. WWE is starting to lean towards having pay-per-views on a Saturday now permanently, which is great because now you can review everything on Sunday and then get your wrestling throughout the week in order to prepare for the next pay-per-view. Before we begin, as always, I'd like to introduce our panel. A couple people will not be here. Kenny Nine had some family issues, so he will not be on today's episode. Well wishes to him and his family. And Chase is at a seminar, so he will not be making it. So you'll have myself, the contrasting Kukai over here, and you'll understand why as we get into the episode. And we have our silent Bob, which is Trevor, because he speaks the least amount of time on the show. Hopefully he speaks more today. So without further ado, let's get into it. SummerSlam has come and went. This was the first SummerSlam that was led by our new head of creative, Triple H. However, I feel personally that some decisions were made on the nose by Triple H, and some decisions were already made before he was made head of creative. Some decisions it's like 50-50. To me personally.
How do you know this?
No, this is what I feel. I don't know this. This is what I feel based on what I saw at the pay-per-view. I gave the pay-per-view a solid. It was solid 7.75 out of 10. There were hiccups.
Yes, there were hiccups.
So, but overall was solid.
Okay, so can we start with a little bit of order and then just go over what the card was? Just lay out the card.
Yes.
And then we can go match by match by match by what the effect was on the crowd and or the watching audience.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, let's factor in everything before we get to the matches. The crowd was Nashville, Tennessee. Not really a wrestling crowd to me. Not really a big wrestling crowd. Not in comparison to like Chicago or Philadelphia or New York. Or
Atlanta,
or
Atlanta, or
Atlanta,
anywhere in
or Texas,
Mississippi, St. Louis.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
the big wrestling place. So it was a very casual crowd. There were some pops.
449 people.
Yeah,
because Kane came out and said that number.
They'd be blowing. So I feel like sometimes they'd be blowing numbers out of proportion. Because it certainly ain't feel like that with the way the crowd was reacting. By the way, Kane being there with some of his views, I don't know if that was a good decision.
Other than the fact that he's Hall of Fame and it was his city. He's mayor of the city.
He is mayor of the city. I'll give him that. Okay. But with some of his decisions,
I'm with you. Hey, I'm with you.
Has he said some bad things? I don't know about these.
He has. He has been in the center of controversy. As far as the whole views on abortion and whatnot, and vaccinations. So
he's a conservative. Okay, so the card.
That wasn't Kane. That was Glenn Jacobs we saw.
Correct. Lay out the card.
Now let's not get into the card.
Just run the card down.
We started running. We started off hot with Bianca Belair versus Becky.
We have 3 titles online, right?
We had 3 titles. 3 titles. Yes.
No, 4. I'm sorry. 4.
4. Sorry. So sorry, Bobby. So sorry.
You good?
We had Bianca Belair versus Becky Lynch for the Raw Women's Championship. Logan Paul versus The Miz. Then we had Bobby Lashley versus Theory for the United States Championship. Mysterios versus Judgment Day. I believe that was there. Then after that, we had the SmackDown Women's Championship.
No, we had the tag team.
No, you're right. So it was 5. It was 5 then. It was
No, we had
5 titles.
Corbin. I'm sorry, Corbin McAfee.
We had Corbin and McAfee. Then we
Then
had the the Unified Tag Team Championships.
Correct.
Then we had the SmackDown Women's Championship.
Correct.
Then we had the Last Man Standing match for the
Indeed.
undisputed
So
title.
that was
So it was 5.
7 matches.
It was 5
4,
title
4.
matches, 7 matches total.
Gotcha.
4 hours
Yes.
was the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Right. So
All right.
that's so the people can follow through what it is that we were prepared to watch, because they told us the card beforehand.
Yes.
They advertised the card.
Right.
Okay. Now they have to execute. And this is where maybe it's me because of just long-term watching.
Right.
This is where I start saying that there were missed opportunities to make money.
Okay.
Even though they had a full house of 48,449.
Mm-hmm.
What is sold nowadays as a pro wrestling promotion has been watered down to the point where I legitimately feel that people are wasting their bodies and talent at times out there for the WWE, when there shouldn't be a bump that is made that is wasted. Okay. So of the matches, my favorite was the curtain jerker, which shouldn't have been a curtain jerker. There should have been storyline at the very beginning that let me know what was going on and what was coming up, and that this was being set up for more than a classic submission heel versus a bump face. First thing that I thought as soon as I saw it was, what does Becky have on? And did Marvel Studios help her?
Yeah, I was questioning that. I was questioning the outfit choices. I feel like that was something, the garment was thrown on is something very, very last minute. Because other than that, the way that both Becky and Bianca were dressed is very parallel to Hulk Hogan and Macho Man Randy Savage.
Right.
I think that garment was thrown on the last minute. It would have made sense if the colors and everything had matched, because that's how Becky had been dressing recently, up to recently. So
and it does come back with the Mysterios, because Mysterios are in red and gold also.
Yeah.
You know, so I get the summertime feel. Okay? I just want a coherent pay-per-view that allows me to suspend disbelief in where I don't keep seeing the logical flaws in the show.
I feel that.
That's my big thing. Okay?
Right.
You know, and with Becky's, my only critique of the character, her doing heel work, is I don't know from match to match if they're market testing toy outfits for her. What's going on with her outfits? Can we get some coherency?
Well, with her outfits, it's supposed to be like as a heel character, it was supposed to be on par and on parallel with how her crazy husband dresses. So, and she was supposed to be quote unquote downward spiraling and whatnot, selling her soul exactly. Going Hollywood fully, basically.
They some weirdos.
Okay. Then that finish is trash, if that's what they were trying to do. The finish that they just did? What? Okay.
Wait, the finish, you're talking about the finish with Becky and Bianca.
I'm talking about, that's the whole thing. So as far as the actual match, I give the match, that was a 5-star match.
Wasn't their best match. Nothing is going to beat their WrestleMania match. That's their best match.
Gotcha.
But this one was good.
This was a 5-star match. They kept the crowd in it till the last minute. They got an ovation.
Yeah.
It was a big pop. They got the 1, 2, 3 from the crowd. So
because it was Bianca's hometown, especially. It was Bianca's hometown.
It was a coherent match. Bianca sold the arm and everything. I wish she had kept selling the arm, because it would have meant something later on when Liv had to sell the arm against.
We're gonna get into that match. I actually hated that match.
That was weird. After me, where
I hated that.
Creative lost their minds. They went off rails.
Yeah, Bianca Belair, she carried that match for me. She was absolutely phenomenal. She showed that why she's the champion to me. I mean, she gave a stellar performance
Yeah.
as usual.
Yeah.
I'm in agreement with you.
Yep.
She did a good job. She's come a long way in the last year.
Yeah.
It showed that her hours in front of the crowd. It showed. I want her mic skills to get a little bit better. But again, that's just time in front of the crowd.
Mic skills, I feel like, and it's gonna suck because she's over with the crowd. But her mic skills were better in NXT when she was a heel because she had a lot more sass, a lot more trash talking, and she doesn't do that as much because she's a babyface.
She had material to work with. If they just give her the material, which they're setting her up for, then that works. Do they need more faces in the women's division? Yes. They also need to begin treating the women like wrestlers and not like sex pot crossovers.
Well, which they haven't for the most part. Not in my eyes. If you see anything different, talking about the main roster, I haven't seen it. Huh?
Carmella. She just got through doing a feud with Carmella, the most beautiful woman in wrestling. What's going on, dude? Why?
I mean, Carmella kind of did that to herself when she started calling herself a diva again. So they were like, okay, you want to call yourself
how is she doing it when we know it's creative who's making all these decisions?
I mean, she does it, but besides her, who else?
What do you mean?
Who else?
They're all dressed like Starlight. Okay, you know how like in The Boys, Starlight has two outfits. One outfit where she looks like she's a part of the Marvel family, and the other one looks like she's the Dazzler, and she ain't got no clothes on. They keep doing that with most of the wrestling female wrestlers. They keep them in the little swimsuit onesie instead of giving them Natalia. They actually dress. Okay, they need more monster characters. Natalia is one. I would have loved to have there been a storyline that was between Natalia and whoever was the winner. Okay, but then they bring back three villains like this is Superman 2 at the end of the match, which I didn't understand the finish. Well, when Becky turns and all of a sudden acts like Bret Hart, like she's a hero and this is sportsmanship, after like you've been saying, she's been doing this downward spiral into I'm selling out for entertainment's sake. It was just too great a turnaround. No. Did the crowd go along with it? Yes, but for what?
This is why. Let me explain it because I've been paying attention to when Becky returned to SummerSlam and beat Bianca in 26 seconds all the way up to now. Let me try to explain the story as best as I can. Right? Becky sold out at that SummerSlam.
Right.
Basically, right? She sold out. She's saying, and it came to a head at WrestleMania saying, they used to cheer me, but because of what I did to you, now they boo me. And now I'm going to sell out. Right? So this is Becky leading up to WrestleMania before she got beat by Bianca. And by then, Bianca had already started to become a different champion versus when she won the SmackDown Championship from Sasha.
Time.
Right.
The first time.
Difference is she was very happy. And now this WrestleMania said, no, now the first time I won a championship. Wow, I'm the champion. Now I won this Raw championship. Yes, I am the champion. It's a different deal, right? So that's
I'm not on my rookie run.
We're on Becky though. Now Becky losing at WrestleMania starts her downward spiral because now she's like, okay, I've lost the championship. I've lost a part of my identity. I got to do whatever it takes by any means necessary to get a championship, not even just the Raw championship. Because remember that she was trying to get the 24/7 championship too, right? Because she felt she had lost a sort of identity that was supposed to be a part of her character now. But in truth, what they were trying to do was trying to keep Becky relevant, like Seth saying and point. She no longer needs a champion. She no longer needs a championship because that's where Becky is now. She's already had all of her famous run. She's already had her past runs and her past matches with Charlotte, with Ronda, and whatnot. And then her last run before losing to Bianca. It's like Becky doesn't really need it anymore. She's established herself, but her character was supposed to be her character was supposed to be, okay, I need this title. I need this title as a part of me. If I don't get this title, what am I?
Okay,
And that's why she kept trying to insert herself in the picture. And you have to
this
remember,
any of the promos that you're talking about, everything that you're talking about was this communicated via promo. Where's the promo evidence of this?
yes,
That, everything that you said was great, but the meltdown was leaning more towards, I'm a prima donna. I'm melting down because I deserve the title. I'm number one contender. And then she goes into the match. She's still on that level of heel. And then all of a sudden turns face.
Hold on. There's another shade to this now. There's another shade. Because remember, the roles were reversed when Becky was the champion leading up to WrestleMania for Bianca. Bianca kept trying to get in the title picture, deservingly so, because she got cheated, and Becky would not give Bianca the match.
Right. Typical heel stuff, because Bianca is the babyface sports hero.
And now Becky's trying to, because remember, after she lost at WrestleMania, she said now she's hit rock bottom, but now all that's left for her to do now is, to go up. And she had been trying to do that. Only difference is she kept failing and failing. And with each failure, it was like it was hitting her. Part of it was hitting her, and she was in denial, not saying it in promo. I get what you're saying. It wasn't delivered to you like that. But as far as how the story was being told, I said, I caught on. This is the direction that they're trying to go.
Okay. Yeah. When it comes down creative, after the match, after she does the handshake and everything, and does the turn, and the crowd goes along with it, she should have been walking to the back. Then the three amigos come out. She hits the amigos from the back in order to save her new friend. Instead, they have her just stay.
I don't think it's a friendship though, because even after Bailey and them leave, Becky looks at Bianca and says, I'm coming back for that one day. So there's it's like she's not a full face. She's like sort of tweener.
Got you. And it could have kept her in limbo, and she's still a contender. She doesn't need a belt to stay relevant. I'm with you. But if you're not going to communicate that via personality, then you give her a new move that becomes so weird that we know that it's heelish. But like her Diamond Dust, that's a beautiful finish. But everybody doesn't get a Diamond Dust. If you're a main eventer like Bianca, that shouldn't even be a part of the repertoire. Okay. But if you're a jobber, she hits that, it's the end of the match. We all know it's the end of the match. It's no different than Rocky hitting the people's elbow with no respect for you needing to use the rock bottom. Okay. Okay. And then there's, to me, a lot that you can still do with Becky, and Becky can snipe, because to me, I would have wanted to start it, instead of it being a match, with new creative being introduced, which I don't have a problem with, and then everyone would have been known, we're going to get a pay-per-view of spoilers. Yay. And then it would have been Natalya and Carmella, who I just got through watching, go after the belt, hitting up new creative, whoever new creative is, whether that's Triple H or another character that they want to bring out, to manning the number one contenders tournament, which would start carrying them up for the fall, right? With Bianca, where you could put somebody going up against Bianca, but she doesn't have to perform every pay-per-view. You don't have to keep putting down and then trying to water down the belt in any way, shape, or form, because right now it's put respect on your belts.
Here's the thing though with Bianca. Remember, Becky was thrown in because they didn't have anyone else. Remember, originally it was supposed to be Rhea, but there was no timetable on when she'd be coming back. Rhea is still technically owed a match. And she's cleared now, obviously.
Granted. So now start working that in, but I want that worked in over 2 pay-per-views, not over 2 to 3 weeks like they're doing nowadays. Okay? Go back to, because Rhea Ripley right now with Judgment Day is setting up to be a beautiful heel. They need to keep developing that storyline and respect for her moves, so that a finisher actually has a meaning, And you can't just be anybody and kick out of her finisher. They need to go back to that. They did put that on the KOD. Becky took it on the outside, and then had to be helped back in, which was good. That was good to me. And then it was a ferocious KOD with energy that ended the match.
And that Spanish fly, that was a beautiful Spanish fly.
Yes, it was absolutely worked. When it comes down to Bianca's in-ring character and everything the character does inside the ring, it was absolutely beautiful. It worked. Nothing is wrong with that. She's a beautiful sports face. Becky can keep coming with the personality to be the good heel on just personality alone, even though her in-room performance is off the chain. It's just now, to me, it's going to be between her and Ronda, whose armbar is the strongest, because we need to now differentiate. Who do I respect? Which armbar do I respect? So that
I don't think they're. You think they're gonna do Ronda versus Bianca at Survivor Series?
I hope not.
I don't think.
I hope they do Banks versus Ronda, and somebody has to retire that armbar.
You mean you want Beck? Wait, I don't think they're just gonna do a match with no championship involvement, because usually when it comes to Survivor Series, they do their team matches for brand supremacy, even though the brands are kind of like all together right now. And then they do champ versus champ matches from their respective brands. By the way, Bobby Lashley versus Gunther is going to absolutely slap.
If they build it up, and I'm with you, because you've got some monster characters that should be running through.
We should have had an Intercontinental Championship match. We should have had that in SummerSlam.
Right. But see, to skip ahead, to me, when it came down to the Bobby Lashley versus Theory,
right,
here was clearly an opportunity to put a tremendous amount of story on the board. One, Omar should have been watching that the whole time. Whether he's in the back or he's standing there on the Titantron, he should have been watching with the threat of interference to give Theory a fighting chance against a super strong monster character, face Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley in that match did what the character should have done, which is completely destroy Theory. But Theory should have been destroyed. It should have been like he's on a stretcher, out the on an ambulance, and we don't know if he's going to come back to cash in on Money in the Bank. They're getting rid of all mystery and suspension that should be creating the drive within the plot lines.
Right. I feel that. I feel like with Omos though, that's all, he's not really, he's still so green. He's still so green. They're keeping him out of the ring. They're having him train some more.
Yeah, granted. So he could have stood there in order to keep him relevant, because he's a monster character.
Yeah.
And they need to keep selling the monster characters. Damian Priest is, again, another good monster character who does have mic skills. Finn Balor, they could be utilizing these persons who have fantastic skill sets.
Yes.
They're not utilizing them properly in storylines that are going to make money. They're making
that's
money
why
because they're putting people on TV, but they could be making money selling T-shirts and toys.
But here's the thing, though. Like I said, this was the first pay-per-view. The change is not immediate. The reason why we saw Bailey and them come out at the end of Bianca's match, because that was something that was apparently pitched long ago by Bailey to Vince, and Vince said, to put it simply, no. Fast forward. Yeah.
Why would he say no to that?
Because he
said no.
Logic? What are they doing?
He's gone.
This seeing Bailey and them come out was saying Triple H saying, yeah, my father-in-law's idea was shit. We're bringing you all back.
Yes.
He Dakota. Hello. It's Papa H. Come home.
Got you.
Come home.
So what? So to me, that would have been a perfect time to throw in factions.
Yes.
Okay. And to split the women's division. They could have almost emptied the locker room to the point at the end 5 or 6 women who were the faces were in the ring, and the rest were being routed into the back. Okay. And that would have been a fantastic start to SummerSlam because, like you said, this is a reset of the programs,
right?
Which would have been beautiful. Reset them. Okay. And I would have had interference be the gimmick of the match of the night, so that once the crowd figured out that there were going to be interferences almost every match, all right, cool. That keeps the crowd in it till the last minute. Use the storylines in between in order to do the bridging. There should have been some more promos, and I wouldn't have my celebrities getting over on established characters. Like Logan Paul versus The Miz.
Oh
Miz,
boy,
even though
now,
Logan Paul's the face and's got energy, Miz should have won that match, man.
For business, you gotta put the celebrities.
I mean, I feel that from a wrestling perspective because Miz does have that pedigree. Here's the thing, though. In this age of the internets,
oh my sweet God!
Yep, you knew this was coming. You knew this was coming. This
game wrestling.
This is where you gotta have the mass appeal. Because remember, Nashville's is not a wrestling state. It's not Philly. It's not Chicago. It's a casual state. But I guarantee you, casuals know who the Paul brothers are. And remember, I don't know if you were listening, but there was a mixed crowd reaction to Logan Paul. There were some who were cheering for him because the boy got skills. He is certainly like, you impressed me. Like, I haven't been this impressed since I saw Bad Bunny. And he's
and he should have lost.
Yes.
Even though he was impressive, even though he did everything right, well, he shouldn't have got half those moves off. I mean, okay, I like the frog splash.
The fact that he did that. The fact that
I like the frog splash.
What celebrity willing to take bumps like that? Bad Bunny ain't even do that.
Got you. But that should have been an act of desperation because the Miz was no selling this stuff and beating his tail. And so he should have been able to pull a big stunt like that in order for the crowd to stay in with him lose, and then it set up Miz versus Logan for the next 2 pay-per-views.
I think what they're going to do with Logan, because naturally the boy comes off better as a heel than a face. And people already on the internet already hate this guy anyway. With no disrespect to his wrestling, because obviously the boy can perform really well. To me,
and he did a great job as a face last night.
He sure did. He sure did.
Okay,
but he's naturally better. Like you really have to once this podcast over, really take some time to look up the Paul brothers, both Jake and Logan, and you'll understand, athletic. They're very athletic, but they're both when I tell you universally hated, people hate their guts. Like I said, go back and look up some of their exploits pre them getting into contact sports.
So Kareem, why did he win for the second pay-per-view in a row? Why?
Because everyone also hates the Miz, and the Miz can take losses without really being affected because it's the Miz. The Miz is
so they job out an established multi-title carrying.
Yep. That is the age we are in now. Think about it. If
hold on, Trevor, say it again.
Go ahead, Trevor. Go ahead.
I said the Miz don't mind putting them over. They friends.
The Miz doesn't mind putting him over either. He's tenured. He doesn't really.
No, Miz doesn't. The tenure by telling because he's got the reality money. That's why. Otherwise, he'd be protecting his character.
I mean, think about it. If that was the case, why did Adam Cole lose to Pat McAfee on NXT?
Because creative is stupid.
In your opinion,
dude. Because creative won't respect its brand. That's why.
Yeah, Miz seems like a nice guy that was just going on for business. So.
And they're probably going to make Logan heel eventually anyway. Because besides the Miz, everyone else is gonna probably side with that wrestler over Logan Paul.
I'm lost, dude. I just don't.
I know.
Okay.
I know.
Okay.
It's the age. It's the age of the internet. Once I realized that with all these different celebrities coming in, and some outperforming some of the wrestlers at times.
But yes, but you're set up to do that from the script writer. That's just like
I mean, yeah, but the fact that they're doing it,
that I can kick your tail. It doesn't matter who you are.
You expect a wrestler to be able to perform like that. I'm like, you're seeing football players, musicians, internet celebrities doing the same thing these wrestlers are doing. It's
correct.
like, oh my God.
Right. Watering down the product. Watering it down. Watering it down. That's all I'm saying is watering it down.
And remember from the earlier podcast, so such and such is still a shareholder. So he's probably, like 80%. I said, all of the decisions were not 100% Triple H's.
Obviously,
50-50.
Because it was a slip slop. And
change is slow. Change is very slow.
Obviously. So, question then: the commercial that comes after the Logan Miz match, okay, which is the first time I get some story, okay, the commercial with the
Maximil
water. Two.
I'm so sorry. This sports entertainment. I'm visualizing that commercial now and I'm dying.
I went to the bathroom. Okay, because I was like, why is this on my TV? Why is this on my TV? This is pro wrestling. Is this still pro wrestling?
Got to put over the water, man.
Dude.
Gotta put it over. It's a sponsor. Pure Life.
Oh my God, dude. Oh my God, dude. I was like,
they played the Samaritan commercial like 1,500 times.
Oh yeah, that had me sick.
I just started putting my own.
My wife got sick of that commercial really quick.
Yeah, I'm okay. Those Americans go.
That's exactly how it talks.
Oh, true story, dude.
I get it.
True story.
What you want is the pro wrestlers to actually be taken seriously and not the internet celebrities. You don't want them to continue getting over on the established wrestler. That's not how it's supposed to be because they're the rookie and these guys have been doing it for a long time.
Right. So respect the rookie year and then have them talking like that. I know I'm a rookie. I went out there. I did my best. This isn't as easy as they make it look. And I'm getting better and better. I'm going to keep training and then everybody can follow along, dude. This is not hard. And we got this. Okay. Now that we're past the commercial, because Lord have mercy, dude. Peacock.
We can throw away the Bobby and Theory match because that boy Theory is gonna keep getting booked to get his ass whooped until he cashes in.
Here's my thing.
And that's how they
doing with him. Okay. Another person, lots of talent. He's big. He's bigger than his frame should be. Okay, he's about like 15 pounds because of steroids, 15, 20 pounds too big for his frame. He's beautiful. He's beautiful though. So then why waste him this pay-per-view? Those beautiful bumps he took from Bobby, okay, he should have had a weapon. There should have been a distracted referee so he could have had a weapon and something realistically be done between him and a monster character called Bobby. There should have been interference, okay? So that a very beat up Theory is set up for later on. Because when they use him later on and he gets F5, he has no other function in the match. No other function.
He's dead.
We knew he was going to cash in. Why didn't they just follow through with that?
Because Roman is the most protected man on the face of the planet Earth.
I'm done with you, man. I am done with you, dude.
Tell me I'm lying, though. Wait. I'm gonna give you the map. I'm gonna give you the map to Theory's cash-in. Okay. There's only one man that is probably as over, if not more over than Roman, who's going to take those titles away from him. Cody Rhodes. He is going to come back. He's going to take the titles away from Roman Reigns, and Theory is going to cash in on Cody.
Hopefully fail.
No, he's not, because that's going to give Theory. People already hate him now. You're cashing in on probably the biggest babyface after that performance in the cell. You're cashing in on him after he beat the unbeatable Roman Reigns.
Yeah, but he's a crappy heel. He's a heel that you don't like in any fashion. Like, I don't like nothing about the guy. He's just annoying. I take selfies of myself.
It's going to put him over. It's going to put him over as a heel. People are going to hate. People are going to hate him as much as they hated Miz when he cashed in the first time.
Well, I actually like Miz,
but
we got to talk about your taste. We got to talk about your taste.
You're probably right. That's the problem.
Yes.
That's the problem. That's the problem, is that you're probably right. And this is,
I see it.
My heart hurts too.
They're not going to cash in on Roman. Roman is going to lose to a baby. In fact, as a matter of fact, they're probably going to have Cody win the Rumble. Let's be honest. They're going to have Cody win the Rumble.
Why is Cody? Hold on, time out. Kareem. One, Usa. First off, I'm with you. Cody coming back. One, Cody doesn't need to win the Rumble when Cody comes back. Cody can easily be the number one contender when Cody comes back. Cody doesn't need to win jack. Okay. Other people need to win the Rumble. Okay. Well, it depends on what they do with McIntyre and Roman Reigns after September 3rd. Because right now, forget it.
Who's going to lose?
Right. Well, right now, depending on how they set up the story, there isn't a need for Roman Reigns or McIntyre to win or lose at the next pay-per-view. Depending on how they set up the storyline. Right now, we have the question of, because now we're at Judgment Day in the card, okay? Again, another point where a lot of story could have happened. We knew there was going to be interference, okay? Because it's time for Edge to come back, and they've already foreshadowed that 2 or 3 times through the pay-per-view.
We knew it was Edge.
Okay? So Edge comes back. The question becomes, even though he stood with the Mysterios, is Edge face or heel? Why that wasn't put out there clearly that we don't know which one. While he stood there with the Mysterios, I was waiting for him to spear them also.
He wasn't going to.
I know. I would have wanted that. Then you cut a promo, and then he walks off with the crowd wondering what direction is Edge going in, and he should be hunting the Judgment Day, while then the Judgment Day tries to hunt after the belts, because the Usos need a new challenge. Okay? Period. But without Edge hunting is good. Give Edge something to hunt. And we're good for the next 2 pay-per-views, because we do have to set up Royal Rumble. I would have Judgment Day in the Royal Rumble. I would have Edge in the Royal Rumble. But I would be setting up who's going to be viable in the Royal Rumble to be going to WrestleMania. I do want Reigns to drop the belt. I'm with everybody on that. It's held it for too long. They've got nothing to do more with the storyline. This looks like Hulk Hogan in 88 or 87.
Yeah.
You know, where it's like, we got nothing to do with this character.
They did everybody.
And this is why I said Cody's going to win the Rumble, because otherwise, hold on. This is why I said Cody's going to end up winning the Rumble. It'd be different if the belts were separate. Then Cody wouldn't need to win the Rumble. Someone else could win and go after another belt while Cody fights Roman. That's the next fight that they're going to promote. That's the next fight that they're going to promote regardless. But because both titles are together and no one else is viable enough to beat Roman, Roman basically ran through everybody, ran through Brock Lesnar, God knows how many times. And we are not getting Goldberg back. Fuck that.
Okay, so
Cody,
again,
obviously.
Kokai raises his hand in creative meeting one more time. I know I'm getting my butt kicked over here because of video games.
You're just gonna give yourself aneurysm at this point.
That, right? I'm sucking down Pepto-Bismol over here. Okay, I raise my hand one more time, saying, so how come we don't put Roman Reigns in handicap matches to force the belts off of him?
Hold up, that's a concept. A 2-on-1
I want
handicap. Well, who would it be?
$159,000 a year to work for creative. I would just feed them ideas that they're not going to use. I would gladly do that every week.
How would that work though? Explain that. A 2-on-1 handicap.
Cool. Okay, so you don't have anybody for Roman Reigns to go through. 2, you're resetting the programs and the storylines. 3, you got a new creative coming in who can play heel in the beginning and turn face. In fact, that's exactly how I want creative to come in order to push things to the limit and have someone like Stephanie having to come in and regulate order. But I would have him trying to take the belt off of Roman Reigns so the heel has something up to go against. And I would make it tag teams trying to take the belt off of Roman Reigns. So then the Usos have to keep coming in and set up a fight against the Usos for tag team. Take the belts off of the Usos too, which then leaves the bloodline having to spend a year regaining belts.
The Usos get on my damn nerves. They cheat. Boy. I swear.
They're heels. They're supposed to get on our nerves.
Yeah, but they do the same shit. All they do is kick you. Like, damn, they spawn kicks like a boss in a video game. Stop kicking me.
Dude, I'm there with you, bro.
I'm
there with you. They're just like the Young Bucks. How many super kicks am I going to watch in
Not
one
gonna
match?
lie. Pat McAfee's super kick to Baron Corbin was probably the cleanest one I have seen.
Now, that was like a
That
martial
shit was
arts kick.
clean. I was just
That
like,
was
wow.
That was a martial arts kick.
It was
I
beautiful.
felt that. You see, when everyone else does their super kick, they turn their head to the side and cough, and their legs just bent up. When I saw McAfee land that kick on Corbin, I was just like, that was a direct hit.
That hurt.
Yeah.
I was just
That
like,
hurt. That started things off.
I was just like, wow.
That was a martial arts kick all day.
Okay.
And McAfee, love McAfee. You gotta stop wrestling with sneakers on, bro. Sneakers were not because he almost bust his ass.
Like 3 times.
We saw that. He pulled through and did the swanton. He did.
Okay. All right.
He did.
So,
but the man almost died.
Got you. So here's my question.
more
When I was watching
Jordans.
the match, I didn't know where I was. I didn't know if I was in main event or if I was in mid card. Okay. Because Corbin, I associated with the mid card,
Yes.
but he's also a monster character because he's 6'7".
Yeah.
Okay. So again, they keep using him because he's not a character that goes away, but they got to give him some kind of respect. They're jobbing him out left and right, and he's a beautiful. I mean, he's again another seasoned.
He ain't
wrestler.
the lone wolf. I mean, monster character. I feel like when you say that for Bobby, it fits. When you say I could give a damn how tall he is. If you don't look threatening, I don't care how tall he is. I'm gonna find a way to whoop your ass.
Okay, hold on. But I mean, I got you. But you're gonna have to have, when I say monster character in that particular genre, he won at 6'7" and the weight that he has. He should have been no selling half of McAfee's moves. Okay,
I mean, but he's happy
rookie,
Corbin
he's
who just
another
won the
rookie.
lottery. He's
another rookie.
He is not a monster character. He is a tall, rich man who just happened to win the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, which it gets
that's not a
thrown
monster
in,
character.
and he happens
Andre was a monster character.
he happens to be a Golden Glove champion.
I'm with
For
you.
all that's worth, you still look like a tall,
would-
rich man who needs his ass kicked.
I would
You're
slap
not
the
a
claw
monster to
on.
me.
I hear you. I would slap the claw on him as a submission hold, and I would have him and Omos as a tag team champions right now. I would have the monster characters being, this is who you're trying to beat. You're attacking them individually. You're attacking them collectively. I'm in agreement with you that Omos is too green, but I would put a season with him to help carry him along, and a manager because he can't talk. And Corbin is cool, but I'd rather have somebody else on the mic talking instead of Corbin, right? But Corbin, since they're going to keep using him, they haven't thrown him away. They should have. They had an opportunity to throw him away. Get rid of him. He's on the roster. Use him to the best of ability so we can all make money. And for God's sake, if you keep experimenting with outfits for Becky Lynch and for Rey Mysterio, put Corbin in a coherent outfit. Why does he look like little Abner?
He's a rich man who won the lottery. He's a tall, rich man. And that's why when I hear you say monster character, I'm just like, no. The Fiend was a monster. The Fiend was a monster. Great Khali was a monster. Bobby
drop it.
Lashley is a monster.
Got
Corbin, you are a tall, rich man. I can kick you in the shin and I'd be fine. Kick
All right,
you in the
so-
nuts, I'll be
so-
fine.
Okay,
See,
so
I'd be
again,
afraid to run up on Omos.
got you. So again, if we're gonna keep with the gimmick of interference, I was expecting, or I would have, if we were running creative again, we're in creative meeting. I would have asked, where is Elias, and can he come back in order to help Corbin?
And he can't because he's out and Ezekiel's here. Where was Ezekiel?
Dude, this is just vexation, man. This is just vexation.
And this is just basically, like I said, this is the reset. And even though it's not the reset we exactly wanted, it's a solid start to what's to come. It's a solid start. I gave it a 7. Okay, I gave it a 7. It's solid.
I give it a 5.5, 6. 6 on the high end. That's only because you're pushing.
It's not exactly what you wanted.
Yeah,
that's why it's not exactly what I wanted, but it was solid enough.
What I wanted, though, the crowd did respond. You're correct that the crowd responded. According to the crowd,
and it's a casual crowd.
8.5. According to the crowd,
you're not gonna get the wrestling show that you want unless they're in the wrestling states and cities. You're not gonna get that. I realized that when we had SummerSlam last year in Vegas? Vegas is not a wrestling city.
True.
Vegas is not a wrestling city. I expect wrestling. I expect actual wrestling pay-per-views dedicated to fans at the wrestling states. If it's not Stanford, Connecticut, if it's not Chicago, Miami, Atlanta, New York, Philly, I know you're getting something for the casuals only because the casuals barely tune in.
So then tell me this then. Where to the casual eye and ear does a choir fit in?
Comedic relief. Just random stuff out of nowhere. They're casuals. They're coming for a good show. They don't watch the show weekly like we do.
I'm gonna hit myself in the head with a chair, dude. When I saw the choir, I literally what are we doing?
You're thinking from the IWC perspective. You got to think in the mind of a casual. Was I sports entertained? Were they not singing bum ass Corbin along with the choir? Was the crowd singing it? Yes or no? Were they singing?
I gave you ground, dude. According to you, according to the crowd, it was an 8. You gave it a 7.5. The crowd probably gave it an 8, 8.5.
Exactly. They're not catering to me. They're not catering to me. From what I saw, once I saw that, they're not catering to me, there were times where they did. Like with all the NXT callbacks, I was just, okay, this was clearly for me. Triple H was looking out for me. This is what I like. Everything else was not really for me. So I had to just sit back and say, all right, since they're not wrestling, let me see if they could sports entertain me.
Exactly.
For the most part, they did. The water commercial popped me. I was in tears, laughing, dying. I was sports entertained. Brock Lesnar, when have we ever seen a tractor used in a last man standing match? A tractor used to lift the ring.
I am waiting for Jimmy Cornette to give me his rendition of it because it's going to be laced with so much filth, foreign filth. It's going to be more entertaining than that.
Brock literally catered to that Southern audience saying, I'm a big ass dump farmer.
He did. He said, I'm a country boy. He actually said that. Okay. First off, whose gimmick is he borrowing? I thought it was Stone Cold who drove everything. Where's the tractor coming from when it comes down to the Brock Lesnar character?
It's him playing into. I feel like this last run with Brock Lesnar is probably the most fun he's ever had. He was his most threatening as the Beast Incarnate and whatnot, but I feel like he himself felt limited in that role. This is the most fun I probably seen him have in this run. When Brock Lesnar doesn't care and he's just all about causing rampage and being a farmer and whatnot and making who he really is a part of the character, this is probably the most fun I ever seen him have. Whether you like him or hate him, this is probably his best run.
Yeah.
Why did they destroy the ring, man?
He's 45 or whatever.
He doesn't care.
Why did we do that? Why did we destroy the ring?
They wasn't even in the ring.
I honestly thought he was gonna flip the ring over on Reigns. That would have been wild. But he just dumped him out. He just dumped him out. You know,
it was a good spot.
It was.
Paul Heyman,
and then Brock Lesnar taking a half of the table and punching Reigns with it was funny. That was funny. As a matter of
Paul
fact,
Heyman going through a table was funny.
Yes.
Yeah, Paul, that had me cracking up.
But that also told me this story is now over.
Yeah.
That was the thing for me. Okay, this story is over. We're not gonna see Brock again, probably ever. Probably ever. Because the man's a farmer now. He's selling seasonings for his meat. He's selling meat now. He is. He's getting sponsors. The man is on YouTube inviting other butchers going on their YouTube. I've never seen Brock on a YouTube show with someone else advertising seasoning, grilling meat.
Yeah.
That man, you don't really care about
sports.
wrestling anymore like that. He probably never really did like that.
No, he didn't. He said it.
Not really.
Nobody wants to wrestle in their mid-40s, early 50s. It's time to give it up.
You just don't like either one of them. You just really don't.
No, I'm just being a realist. Nobody wants to practically wrestle in their 40s and 50s when you're getting plenty of money.
Not everyone, no. You got to really have a passion for it.
Yeah.
You got to really Jericho, Edge,
Cage. Right. There's lots of people, dude. Right.
Shit.
So where do we go
Flair,
from here?
That's all he has.
Same with Vince. That's all Vince got too. But where do we go from here? Mr. Creative, Mr. WWE video game creative. Where do we go from here? What's on the table?
Well, obviously that will all be determined tomorrow night on Raw to see where we go from here. Because now that Becky Lynch is probably permanently out of the women's title picture, we're going to see the establishment of Becky's new group, which is called
the face. She's going face again.
No,
she is face.
Becky's a heel.
She's gonna stay heel.
She's staying. Did you see the moment when she turns face again?
What I saw.
That's when the inflatables come back. That's when you'll know she's a face again.
Sasha and Naomi are coming back.
That's when she's gonna be a face.
Naomi's coming back.
Huh?
Yeah, that's what's gonna happen. They're gonna come back, and I said Sasha and Naomi are gonna come back and feud with Bayley and them.
I was honestly thinking when I saw them, I thought Sasha and Naomi were gonna come out. I thought they were gonna come out. I thought Becky went to the back.
The blacks versus the others.
Stop it! You're gonna get this YouTube flagged.
Sorry, Google.
See? But here's the thing, right? Bayley and Sasha, besides Becky and I'm so sorry, I got them all mixed up. The only other person that's had as much chemistry with Bianca besides Becky is Bayley, and they left off on a rivalry from SmackDown.
Right.
They're continuing that feud on Raw, and now Bayley before was like, I can't take on Bianca by myself. Clearly, that failed. So now I'm going to bring in a set of people with special skills to help me take this girl out. This is her version. This is Bayley's version of toxic attraction. She's calling it control or something. I believe.
So are we going to factions so they can compete with AEW?
I don't think it's going to be faction for everyone. They're not going to go faction crazy like AEW. But as far as Bayley coming back and reestablishing herself, and then finally getting Io Shirai out of NXT because she didn't fit NXT's mold anymore. and then bringing back Dakota Kai. That was the bigger surprise for me. EO was a nice treat too, but I thought Dakota was gone. She clearly she didn't sign on to any other wrestling. She was doing Twitch. She left, bided her time, and the moment Triple H came back into power, boop, 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 I'm ready to come back now. And I feel like the same thing is going to happen with Johnny Gargano.
Okay, sounds good to me.
Johnny comes back, put him with Theory. They have history.
Yeah.
Granted, but okay. So then, how do you weave this together as a coherent storyline?
They're starting. It's not a continued story anymore. Now we're establishing a whole new story with shades of the past, but we're establishing all new things. That's what I feel like what Triple H is trying to do. He's trying to like get rid of all the stuff that was established before by his father-in-law and put new stuff in. So nothing's going to be coherent for a while. He's got to establish the new stuff going forward. And I feel like he's going to try to write it how NXT Black and Gold was. Because there are storylines all over the place, but we got a lot of wrestling too. And different stories were focused on every week. It was never the same story. Sometimes we got a continuation, but sometimes we got different stories as well. And for NXT coherent. Black and Gold, it worked.
It was coherent.
It was coherent, but it was never the same thing every week, was it?
I'm okay with it not being the same thing every week. I just need a coherent reason as to why these people are fighting.
We get that started with Monday Night Raw. We'll see.
Yeah,
that's the only reason why I'm going to be watching Monday Night Raw.
But the fact that you're watching,
nobody else watches. Yeah, because we watched the first hour. Nobody else watches. That's why it's lower.
Well, here's another thing, and Triple H talked about it in the past. I feel like they may try to get it back to 2 hours.
Because they should.
Because even he said doing that third hour is just the roughest stuff.
Unless they start booking it like a 3-hour show instead of an extended 2-hour show. Because then it would be
it's better to go
the
back.
First hour is going to set up the last 30 minutes. Like they did back in the day. They got plenty of people to work with. They've got enough characters for 3 hours. It's just I want a coherent story to follow.
Yeah. How about some pro wrestling?
That's some pro wrestling. Don't get me started, man. They don't seem to be following any of the rules, man. They're doing the video game wrestling.
I mean, when you're a rich company like WWE, screw the rules. I have money, in the words of Seto Kaiba from Yu-Gi-Oh.
Right.
Screw the rules. I have money.
Well,
they
got money too.
They get to break the rules.
But he got money too, but he don't know what he's doing. That's the
difference. WWE's been in this game for too long. That's why they can say screw the rules. Tony hasn't been in this game long. He can't say that.
Yeah. I prefer
agreement.
When you are tenured, there comes a certain point where you are allowed to do whatever the hell you want, and some may hate you for it. But damn it, they can't really tell you anything because you're who you are. You're going to watch me regardless because of who I am.
You're the only game in town.
That's why I hate it.
And you can hate them all you want. What did Triple H say? Oh, I'm going to get very upset. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go online and tweet about it. I'm going to go and start hashtags. And you know what? You're just going to come back and watch us anyway. And he's absolutely right.
I'm going to stop watching.
You as one person, a couple people, the IWC, as long as casual people are going in and paying for the shows, WWE could give two shits.
How much were those tickets?
I can't even imagine.
Okay.
The funny thing is, everyone on the floor, everyone who got floor seats got screwed because the moment Brock Lesnar lifted up the ring, everyone else in the front row couldn't see what was going on.
Hey!
Boy, it felt good to be on the high station seats. Boy, I can see everything.
Oh my God, dude.
I felt bad. Everyone sitting by the entrance ramp. Boy, he done limped to the ring. I can't see nothing going.
Right. That was the aggravating finish. I hate him. We gotta bury him with tables and everything. He's too strong.
Oh, Kareem, too much, man. Too much truth. Okay, so they're coming to Eugene, Oregon on 9/11.
Don't nobody care about this.
As of right now, man, and Bianca is going to be on the card. She's on the card.
Yep.
As of right now, man, those tickets are $15.
Really? I wish you could share your screen. They're $50.
I will screenshot that and send that to you via social media because when I last checked, I went as soon as I saw the ad, I was like, okay, I'm there. I went to go look, $15.
I mean, maybe it's because it's not a wrestling city.
There's a city named Eugene.
If they're charging 15 at a Chicago, Philly, or New York show, that's when I'll be like, okay, they're doing something wrong. Something's going wrong.
AEW comes to Portland. They come to Portland. WWE comes to Portland. They can pull a crowd.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
But U of O has a stadium that's big enough for the WWE to come in, man. They can do it if they want it. That's not the problem. But I was just like, $15.
I mean, for where are you sitting at? Those sound like nosebleeds.
No.
I'm gonna look again. Because
those might be nosebleeds. Check 15. Floor seats.
They were all 15. That's what I was looking at. So I'm looking at the closer we get to the show to see what the pricing shifts. I don't know if that was a market test to see if we were.
Yeah, because $15, that sounds great. So I find out I'm sitting all the way at the top.
Dude, $15 feels like we're in Florida and Dusty Rhodes is going to come through. That's what it feels like, dude.
Right.
Like this is 91, 92. There's no way. There's no way.
I went to an NXT live show and $15 was not what was being advertised. Granted, I got to see Velveteen Dream perform live, so that was a treat. But, you know.
Patrick.
What is he doing today?
Matter of fact, he said he's willing to go back to WWE again because all those charges, they ended up being false. All the allegations.
Why'd you put yourself in the situation in the first place, man?
He made a
mistake.
Everything
that you know going on.
He made a mistake. And the fact that he was trying to keep in kayfabe with his character, and that's a whole other episode in and of itself. Velveteen made some mistakes and talked to the wrong people, trusted the wrong people. And they also, if you're going to be doing dating and whatnot, don't do it online. Don't do online dating. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't put your junk on the internet because people will take that picture and run with it. And Photoshop is powerful because some people can't tell the difference.
I'm in agreement with you. But let's stick with SummerSlam and the immediate aftermath, which will be tomorrow on Raw. Let's stick with the parameters that we're at the present moment. So Raw's numbers are down lately. It's like 1.1 million.
Good.
Down from 1.4, 1.5. Do you think that this reset is going to help with the Raw?
Stop hating. God damn, Trevor.
I ain't even saying nothing.
You're shaking your head. We see you on camera.
I ain't saying that.
You're probably the biggest hater. You're the biggest WWE hater. If Chase is AEW's biggest hater, then you are WWE's biggest hater.
Okay. Well, I'll wait. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Terrible.
No, Trevor. So how would you start off Raw?
I would have an aneurysm booking it. First of all, I don't know.
You would have an aneurysm booking it, he said.
Yeah. I'll probably do a Hell in a Cell on Raw. Just some random crazy stuff. I want to get it trending.
I'd start off how I started with SummerSlam with Bianca coming out, and then Bayley coming out and establishing like her faction.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay.
And right now, if we're talking about doing faction wars, because like I said, Clash at the Castle. Throw that away. The next one is Survivor Series. Forget all that international BS. Forget all the international BS.
Now we're right up my alley. Faction.
You wanna do international stuff? Watch Crown Jewel. All right. Okay. No one watches that either. That was rhetorical. No one watches that.
I hear you.
You want the good international stuff? Watch NXT UK. Do that for your international fix.
Yeah.
But the next pay-per-view is Survivor Series.
I'm with you. So to me, I would have to start. This is me again, raising my hand during creative meeting.
You're big on factions. I noticed that.
I am big on factions, but this one I would want to start off Raw by tying up the plot line of what to do with Theory and how come he cash in the
No, it was a failed cash in. It didn't count.
I get that it was a failed cash in, but now you gotta tie that plot line up. To me, it would start off with him and then him being forced to fight over the Money in the Bank. I would force him to do it again.
Who would fight for that Money in the Bank title though? I mean, he's already won it. He's
won it. Then because of his mistake or it not being cashed in properly or it partially being cashed in yesterday. It
works like this. Unless the referee has said and the announcer has said he is officially cashing in, it's not a cash in until the ref and the announcer make it official. Also, yesterday was a last man standing match. Cash-ins don't work for those kinds of matches. Cash-ins only work for regular pinfall and submission. That was last man standing, so that wouldn't have worked to Theory's favor anyway.
I'm with you, but I would like that resolved to where you have a conversation about that, and then I would put him in a match so that he stays relevant because he's not, dude. He's not.
I mean, think about it. A lot of people got humiliated. A lot of people who won Money in the Bank got humiliated, and they still ended up eventually cashing in. Seth Rollins was made to look like a clown. Did we forget Dean Ambrose put fake slime in a fake briefcase? Seth still ended up cashing in, and Seth was made to look like a clown.
We don't have to make those mistakes anymore, though, Kareem.
You say mistakes. I say you can take as many L's as you want as long as your cash-in is successful. It doesn't matter.
That's a shame.
It doesn't because the cash-in that's basically what it is. Edge took L's too. Still cashed in. Still became champion.
So what do we do with Bobby now? He is U.S. champ. It's a great mid-card belt. It's got weight. I'm not mad at it. Huh?
Open challenges. Just bring that back.
I really want a tournament. I say we do number one contender tournaments and they get to
that's for trying to make that now you're trying to make the belt not trying to make the belt something super special. The U.S. championship
make every belt worth something.
That's not how it's going to be. Maybe if it was the Intercontinental Championship belt, I care a little more. That United States Championship belt means to me, you're not going to be seeing the WWE Championship probably for a while. Bobby's probably the only one.
It's mid card. You're top of the mid card. I'm with you, top of the mid card, but that can be made valuable, bro. I'm with it being made valuable, dude. Otherwise, there's no. But Bobby's over. He's got the crowd moving.
His
over. Face.
He's
over. I want to keep him over, and I want to keep him on TV. He's performing, but I'm with you. He doesn't have a worthy contender right now, so I got to build one. So Theory being thrown into a match where if you want to go against what?
It wouldn't matter. You got to throw in someone that don't have anything. Theory's got the Money in the Bank. So win or lose, it doesn't matter.
But Judgment Day can go after him. He can go after Judgment
Day doesn't have anything. See, that works. They don't have anything. Right now, all they have is Uncle Edge chasing after them. Rhea's got an eventual women's championship match.
Women's can go after Bobby.
They both, or like, are they both going after the championship? Because now the championship doesn't matter. It's just a rivalry. How do you make that work? You want the championship to be relevant.
Hold on, see, we're having a more fruitful conversation than they have during creative meetings because we're actually trying to make it coherent.
Exactly.
Okay? So that's what I'm saying. I have no idea where they're going right now. But they do need to tie up that plot line of what they ended off with last night. Tomorrow. I mean, they need to clean that up.
Theory failed in his mission to get both the United States Championship back. Doesn't really need it, but whatever. That was just
what's he gonna do between now and Roman Reigns? Because Roman Reigns, it's McIntyre versus Reigns at the next pay-per-view. So what's Theory supposed to do? Just twiddle his thumbs, stay in the back?
All of them have done it. It's a tried and true. It's a tried and true formula with the Money in the Bank. That's why I said when you L's don't matter when you have that briefcase. They don't.
I want to cry. This is just.
I mean, have we been watching the same program for years?
I have, but I've been wanting. But because Vince is gone, because we have Triple H and creative, because they've got to reset things, because we're not going to go towards what.
But what does Theory have to do? What does Theory have to do in the meantime? What does Theory have to do in the meantime? That's why giving him the briefcase was a catch 22, because now Theory can afford the losses. If Theory didn't have the briefcases, those losses would hurt him a lot more, because now he's being buried. That briefcase protects him from being buried. So it's like there's nothing else that needs to be done with him unless he goes and cashes in.
Okay, so to me, that's why I was saying, that's where I started with, where because of it being in limbo, he has to fight to verify that he still has the Money in the Bank.
But it's not.
Which I get what you're saying, which is deviation from how they treat it.
But it's not in limbo. Wait, your mic's going out.
I said it needs to be. It needs to be in limbo.
The only way it would be in limbo, because we're talking about coherency, if he would have officially cashed in, say the announcer was right in the middle of saying it, and then something happened to the announcer, they got bodied or whatever by Brock Lesnar, then I'd see your point of it being in limbo, of him having to verify that he's still the Mr. Money in the Bank. But the fact that he got bodied before he even cashed in, he dragged the referee out there, granted, but he got F5 before the cash in could even happen. So because of that,
the referee was saying no. Then he got cashed. Then he got bodied. The ref wouldn't respect him.
Probably because of what I said earlier. It's a last man standing match. Every time a cash in has happened, it has never been a stipulation match unless it was strictly no disqualification or whatnot. Unless the match is by pinfall or submission.
I'm with you.
That is the only time that's the only time cash-ins work. You've never seen it for a last man standing, or it has to be matches involving a pin or a submission. Right, last man standings don't do that. I think that's probably the only match that has no pinfalls or submissions.
I yield. So basically what we're saying is tomorrow is going to be basically a set of rematches from the pay-per-view like they normally do after a pay-per-view.
I don't think it's going to be a set of rematch. We're not getting rematches.
Well, you're not going to get the main event rematch because Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns.
We're not getting rematches for everything else. It's just I feel like it's going to be a lot of story, very little wrestling, because Bayley has her faction to establish. Rhea Ripley is going to also come out saying she had never gotten her match to begin with. her coming out with the Judgment Day or whatnot, you know, Edge coming, spearing the hell out of both of them again. Honestly, without Edge being in Judgment Day is dead in the water.
Exactly.
Just like Hurt Business.
He probably gave him a little chastisement.
I mean, think about it. Edge wanted it to go in a different direction. Creative wanted it to go in a supernatural direction.
Creative.
They can just be bad guys. They can just be biker bad guys.
But think about it. Now they're just Retribution 2.0. We know how that ended.
Correct.
I don't even remember that.
See?
Shit,
That's
I
how it
forget.
ended.
Mace used to be a part of it. Dominic Dijakovic used to be a part of it. Dominic is now in catering, and Mace is now a supermodel.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, it's not Mace anymore. It's Mace.
I'm done.
That's what that crap was. Let me be quiet.
Maximale models.
Water.
Men with makeup.
Water. And water. Lots of water.
I was sports entertained though. Gotta admit, I laughed.
I
laughed.
I was disgusted.
I died of laughter, honestly.
Okay, so it seems like we're done here, man.
This show, well, we still got a whole other hour. I mean,
okay.
We can only talk about where we go from there. We basically discussed almost every match in the pay-per-view, all over the place, but we basically discussed every match in the pay-per-view. Well, like, what would you rate you? So you said you give SummerSlam a 5 out of 10.
Me?
Yeah.
6 on the high end, and that's because you guys have convinced me.
If I was to rate it for IWC from an IWC perspective, I mean, then again, I was on Twitter and a lot of people were pleased with some of the decisions that were made. So even the IWC seems to be high on Triple H, which is crazy because the IWC is almost never happy. But I said SummerSlam started off hot and then it started to cool off. It did start to cool off. Oh, shit. We haven't talked about everything yet. Liv Morgan has been made to look like the weakest champion. Ronda should have left after Money in the Bank and someone else should have been fighting Liv. Or if you're going to have a finish with her, Liv's got to be crafty. Be smart. Outsmart your opponent. Because we know you're not going to physically beat Ronda Rousey.
Well,
you're not. You are not. Unless you are Shayna Baszler, you are not going to beat Ronda Rousey. You aren't.
I'm in agreement with you.
Yeah.
That was a very controversial finish. It was the best finish when it comes down to controversy for the night. It was clean as far as setting up storyline. What I didn't like was if you've got Becky using the disarmer, you can't have Ronda Rousey on the same pay-per-view.
It's Ronda Rousey's bread and butter. It's right.
I get it.
I get unfortunate.
It. But Liv sold her arm being hurt more than Bianca did.
I mean, they're booked as two different champions, though. Bianca looks like she's built to last. So even if she were to get the injury, she looks like someone who could fight through it versus Liv. Liv don't look like she can fight through a arm injury.
She honestly, don't look like a professional wrestler.
Honestly, and I think I'm going to get a lot of hate for this. It's going to be a very controversial opinion. As much of a feel-good moment as it was, Liv shouldn't be SmackDown Women's Champion.
She shouldn't.
She should not.
She should
not. I get it. The crowd wanted it, and she's a great baby face. You're not a champion. You're not. And I guarantee you, she may have been quote-unquote protected from Ronda, but she won't be protected from Charlotte. Guaranteed. She won't. She doesn't stand a chance.
So you set up
she's not even properly built.
So you set up triple threat matches so that she actually has a fighting chance.
The fact that you have to set up triple threat matches. That she can't. Now you're already telling me she can't win a singles by herself. Or she can't at least outsmart her opponent. You want her to be underdog. You want her to be underdog.
Somebody who's less athletic looking, meaning that a Carmella or she can. If there is more of the sex pops, which is what she was billed as, then yes. in the wrestling, in the women's division, she can. But when it comes down to hardcore athletic, built like wrestlers, Natalya, no, you can't put Natalya. Natalya should destroy her. There are lots of them that should destroy her.
Shayna, fucking
Right.
Shayna. Do you know how much money I would pay for Shayna and Ronda Rousey? Because I know they both have UFC history. That, oh, and then having Shayna go over,
yeah,
and then absolutely brutalizing Ronda. Now you've written Ronda out, and now Shayna is the monster she's supposed to be.
True, and now she can go against Rhea. Now we got something.
True.
And then if we have
you have better matches. You have better matches out of Shayna than Liv. I'm sorry. I am so sorry. Anyone who comes across this video, this is not me hating on Liv Morgan. It was a great feel-good moment. I'm happy she had a successful cash-in. She was not ready. And that controversial, the fact that it had to be a controversial pin, that she couldn't just be an underdog. It'd be different if she hadn't tapped out, but she was in pain, but she still got the pin. She got it by hell or high water, but she doesn't look weak. She still got the pin. But the fact that you had her tap out mid pin, now you made her look weak.
Well, you compare her up with the superhero. She can do a faction.
Huh?
A feel-good faction.
Factions only work as a heel. Get that shit out of here. Get that shit out of here. Factions work when you're a heel. When you're a heel and a tweeter. Get that out of your mind. Get it out.
You gotta set up SummerSlam. We gotta set up Survivor Series.
La Familia. La Familia.
No, you gotta set up Survivor Series. So she could be captain of Survivor Series.
We're not about to have the women's champion. And no, we're not about to do that. No, we're not doing that. We are not doing that. Nope. No, sir. Get that out your mind right now. Get the faction wars out. This is not War Games. This is not blood and guts. No, sir. No factions for you. No soup for you.
There needs to be something on the table for Survivor Series, though. But anyway, that's getting
It's probably gonna be Bianca versus Liv. Unfortunately, it's probably gonna be Bianca versus Liv.
To unify?
Huh? No. Survivor Series has always been about bragging rights.
Got you.
Raw versus SmackDown. So, yeah, Night of Champions, a pay-per-view they need to bring back where every title is on the line.
Correct.
That would be ideal.
Correct. And it have meaning. Every storyline have meaning.
You know what they should have did instead of stupid Clash at the Castle? You know what would have been a great international pay-per-view, and it would have been a pay-per-view name to bring back? Cyber fucking Sunday. Or Cyber Saturday, since we're doing pay-per-views on Saturdays. Crowd interaction. Getting them to vote on the stipulation for the match.
Right. Right.
And then it plays into the story because then crowd wants to say, oh, Liv is champion. You know what? She hasn't really proved herself. So now we got to stack the deck against her to see if she's worthy of being a champion. Put her in a submission match with Ronda. I mean, you got the rings of Saturn and your moveset. Submission match. Boom. Have Liv bleed. Do something.
We just increased the rating status so that blood can come back to the WWE.
Blood.
Huh? What'd you say? Trevor, what'd you say?
Nothing, I was just bearing with you.
Oh, okay. Right.
But I'm like, yeah, you gotta do something that's captivate. You gotta do something that's captivating. Casuals are gonna come to it regardless because, oh, hey, there's a wrestling show in town. They got tickets. Put some money down. Let's take the family, go and see some wrestling. You go somewhere like Chicago, they're gonna be watching like critics. They're gonna be taking note of everything you do. If you did good, they're gonna hit you with the "this is awesome." If you did bad, they're gonna hit you with the "you fucked up."
Exactly. This is boring.
This is stupid. You both suck. You both suck. You both suck.
Oh, my favorite of all time was,
and don't let the beach ball come
you
out.
can't wrestle. You can't wrestle. They did that to John Cena.
Beach
I was
balls
like,
come out.
yes.
Once the beach balls come out, it's a wrap.
True.
Inflatables? They're just tossing it in the crowd. Oh.
That's the thing. People are scared to chant certain things at WWE thing.
Huh. Not Chicago. Not Philly.
Children.
Not New York.
In crowds where they're mostly adults, it's gonna be different. When it's like mostly children, when people taking the children,
those are the casual audiences. You will never see a bunch of families in the wrestling states. You won't. You won't take your children to that because those crowds are rowdy, rambunctious. They will say how you feel, and they will say how they feel, and they will more than likely be censored at that pay-per-view.
Yeah. You ever been to an ECW show? That's a whole different animal.
Shoot, the NXT takeover crowds were different than the main event.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
True indeed. All right. What else you got on the list, bro?
I mean, I think we went over everything. We did the Miz versus Logan.
Yeah.
We did the last man standing. Bobby versus Theory. Wasn't much to talk about. Oh, the tag team match.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
For the title. Oh, snap. Kenny's just joining us for the latter part.
Cool.
That's good. We can do that segment with him wrestling. Hey, Kenny, glad you can make it.
Hey.
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 Kenny's wife and valet. Welcome.
Alrighty.
Congratulations again.
Encyclopedia Pro Wrestling is in the house.
We were just talking about like the show as a whole. We all have different varying opinions. First of all, you caught all of SummerSlam, right? Or
yeah, I did.
What would you rate it? I gave it a 7.75. Kukai gave it a 6. Trevor, what was your rating?
7.
7. Okay, that's solid. Even coming from a hater, that's solid. That's solid.
Wow.
Hey, I was expecting a hater rating.
Oh no. I'm not that harsh.
But what would you give it?
7.5.
Okay, yeah, see? Solid.
Because
think about it. And like I said, they weren't catering to the wrestling fans. It was that was a casual ass audience. So you had to look at it from a casual's perspective. It was solid. It wasn't exactly what we wanted. It wasn't no 10 out of 10. I wouldn't go back and watch it again, but it was decent.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I told people, like, there's always something for everybody in wrestling. And the sooner a lot of people realize that, the better off it'll be.
Yeah.
Now, WWE is more mainstream than AEW. And that's just because of how grandfathered WWE is. Now, we're all hardcore wrestling fans.
Thank you.
You see the takeover sign in the back? You see it?
Thank you.
Exactly.
Gargano on one side, Ciampa on the other.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, we have Ric Flair's last match.
Oh, dear.
Yeah. No,
that man about to die in that ring. That's what he wanted.
Now, the show is going on as we speak.
Mm-hmm. Even though we talk about SummerSlam. Go ahead.
But I feel like that show is geared towards like fans like us, even though we don't exactly support Ric Flair wrestling at his advanced age, but it's a solid show.
He got inspired by Sting taking those bumps on AEW.
Yeah, and by Diamond Dallas Page about 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm saying about that is it's catered to the wrestling fan, with respect to the old school wrestling audience, because it's promoted under Jim Crockett Promotions.
Mm.
They have the Rock and Roll Express at this show with Kerry Morton. You know,
not carrying, but Killer Cross is also going against Dave Smith Jr.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
They got Kerry Morton wrestling with his dad, Ricky Morton. Now, if you know the Express, Ricky Morton, Robert Gibson, and Robert Gibson is in their corner.
Mm-hmm.
They have.
Hold on, forgive me, man. I know where you're going on the card for right now, but before you finish that, and I want you to finish it, what do you rate SummerSlam as?
He said 7. He said 7.
Okay.
He said 7.
Thank you. Okay, keep going.
So the average between everyone is basically 7.
7. Gotcha. Okay. I'm making sure. Forgive me. I missed it. Thank you. Keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what puts SummerSlam over the top for everyone is the surprises that no one saw coming. No one knew it was going to show up last night, and social
no one
media.
knew AJ. No one knew AJ was going. We all knew Edge. Everyone knew Edge.
I don't think it was that alluded to. No.
I mean, there was a vignette on the pre-show saying that he was coming back tonight. There was a vignette. I caught that. So yeah, I knew he was coming back tonight. And of course, the dirt sheets reported that he was backstage.
Damn.
But Bailey was a surprise. Dakota was a surprise. Io Shirai was a surprise. And AJ Styles.
So, and Matt Riddle showing up.
And Matt Riddle showing up out of nowhere, yeah. Yeah.
Like, that's what made it over the top. No one knew half of that stuff was going to happen. And Edge's entrance, badass as usual.
Oh, that Edge. And a new theme. He remixed the Brood theme. I like that.
True.
Now, I got one question. Why was everyone wearing red and yellow at this show?
I was thinking you might have an answer to that.
I mean, the Street Profits was obvious. You know, it's at Nissan Stadium, Tennessee Titans. But Becky, the Mysterios, Edge, all wearing red or red and yellow.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Shoot, Brock Lesnar came down in a red tractor truck.
Well, his logo is red at times, too.
I mean, that's true. He got red and yellow, so it makes sense for him. I feel like that was Brock's last pay-per-view for real.
I don't know.
It's definitely the end of their story. Doesn't make sense for him to come back. He ain't coming back.
Yeah, it has to end. But it was like, I was trying to figure out what was the symbolism behind that, because everyone was asking, what is Bianca wearing? And I'm like, she's in country music town, USA. And
it's her hometown.
You're right. She is from Tennessee. And then
looked like NXT. Looked like her.
Yeah. That's the EST. She was on brand with her EST gimmick.
Yeah, her outfit was straight on. X is the question. What in the hell? Anyway.
Yeah, Becky, hers was like a mix of things. If she would have come out in like a red something instead of that black drape over her her outfit, she would have been. It would have been on brand with how she dresses.
Yeah. Say, Bex looked like she was getting ready for the new Shazam movie.
Bex looked like something out of an anime, to be honest.
I'm sick of y'all.
True.
Sick of y'all.
Seth was
My Hero Academia.
Yep. Seth was dressed in orange. Seth was only dressed in orange because the University of Tennessee, so that made sense.
That's why the Mysterios were in the red and gold too.
No,
I mean red and yellow make orange, so
yeah, but the Tennessee Volunteers colors are orange and white. So Seth coming out in that burnt orange suit, that made sense.
I would have loved the impromptu match. Seth saying, I've injured, instead of having Riddle come out there. I mean, no one expected that, but I was just like, you're injured. We all know Seth is going to end up putting you out even longer. I would have really loved Johnny Gargano to have an impromptu match with Seth Rollins. That would have popped me. I probably would have booted the pay-per-view to an 8. 8.5.
Cameo, he made a video appearance on Impact earlier this week.
Who? Johnny? Oh,
yeah.
boy. So he's probably going to Impact, maybe?
No. In fact, part of StarCast this week, leading up to Ric Flair's match, he actually had his own segment called What's Next for Johnny. So if anything, he probably announced it on there, but he only appeared on Impact as a favor to Alex Shelley. I mean, he appeared via video. He wasn't actually there.
So we still don't know. I feel like he may come back to the E. He and his wife.
Well, I'm looking into what Gargano actually said because it was before the pay-per-view started.
Right. Yeah, verify that and see what he said because he seemed to be chilling, but he seems like the type to go back to WWE if it was under Triple H because Triple H was high on Gargano. And it would give something for Ciampa to do so he's not just with the Miz. And you be getting another tag team.
That we don't know what to do with.
Why you say that? Why you said that?
Because it's WWE.
Hey, this is a new start. If we see, I'll tell you what. After we do 5 shows and we see some of the same bullshit leading up, if we do 5 of these, this is only episode 2 of the podcast.
Okay.
By the time we get to Survivor Series and it's more of the same thing, I will say you're absolutely right.
And I'm going to be looking for these, and I'm going to be looking for your ratings for these pay-per-views to start dropping.
I mean, that would depend on whether I was sports entertained or not. Because remember, it's going to depend on where it is. It's going to depend on where it is. If we're going to say if the pay-per-view is in a wrestling city or state, I'm going to be looking at this as okay, I'm a member of the IWC and I'm going to be judging you harshly. If it's in a casual state like Nashville, Tennessee, or somewhere that's not really wrestling, I'm not going to be looking at it as a member of IWC because I'm like, they're not catering to me.
Okay, so that means that we're going to bring water bottles to that review.
We'll bring water bottles to that review. I mean, think about it. You can't rate it properly. If it's something that looks like it's going to be catered to the casual audience, then I got to rate it as a casual. If this looks like, if you're having this in an IWC city, then I got to look at it as a member of the IWC.
Okay, hold on, Kareem, just for the sake of those who are casual listeners, tell them what the IWC is.
The IWC is the unsatisfied internet wrestling community. That no matter what you do, they are going to find a way to shit on the product. No matter what you do.
That's cold-blooded. For those who are listening, the IWC causes everything to trend. We're causing everything to trend.
I mean, that's
social media because of the IWC.
That's true. And most of the IWC is on Twitter, which is why I said they are the most unsatisfiable people in the world. I would say I am a respectable member because I can have a balanced take. The majority of members of the IWC will shit on the product. And they're also the cause of tribalism in WWE. Come on now. AEW versus WWE. Shoot. WWE versus the world. Tell me I'm lying. Tell me I'm lying if the IWC isn't responsible for a majority of the tribalism in the wrestling community. Shoot, Twitter alone. You can't go to a WWE tweet without seeing something about, oh, this is mid, watch AEW, such and such and such.
It goes ways, though.
Huh? It goes both ways, definitely. There's definitely AEW tribalism as well.
Well,
because it'll be like, I'm enjoying this pay-per-view. Oh, this pay-per-view is trash. AEW is better.
Well, let's see. Now Japan is thrown their hat in the women's wrestling ring by pairing with Stardom. They created the new IWGP World Women's Championship this week.
Okay.
Wow.
So now the forbidden door is going to be kicked wide open even more now for women.
That's true. But
that's now in Yamashita to wrestle.
Thank God.
Thunder Rosa went to Japan and lost to Yamashita.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was overseas, and it was a great match. Now, the question is, like, even Ty Conti wants in on the Forbidden Door action. Now, I don't like the character where she's doing with the Jericho Appreciation Society and Sammy Guevara, but she legitimately wants to wrestle Julia from Stardom.
Okay.
I think it's a damn good match. I mean,
Yes.
Well,
I
hold
mean,
on, guys. I know we're talking about other things, but I did say this episode was specifically for the E and SummerSlam. I did say that.
Okay.
All right.
I got you.
We got to
Thank you
stay.
for reining us in. Because
I mean, I get it. You're very excited. You're very excited, and this is why you're the encyclopedia of wrestling, because you keep up with some of the stuff that even I don't know about. But we got to stay on topic. We said this was specifically for SummerSlam and what this will mean for the WWE going forward. Now, next week we can start. As a matter of fact, we can discuss what we'll be talking about next the third episode. This is only the second episode, and this was only dedicated to SummerSlam because SummerSlam was yesterday. And
Correct.
so that means we can have episodes on Sunday without it interfering with the pay-per-view, because it seems like pay-per-views won't be on Sundays anymore going forward.
this one going on now in the same.
I mean, WWE pay-per-views.
Fair enough, but
WWE pay-per-views. If there's like an
Fair.
AEW, if there's like an AEW pay-per-view happening and it happens to be on a Sunday, then we won't do an episode for that day.
So, okay, how many promotions do we have going on right now? Because I didn't know Impact was still going on.
We have the E, we have
Right.
AEW, New
Right.
Japan,
Right.
TNA.
TNA still going on?
no, TNA is Impact.
Well,
Got you.
yeah,
Thank you.
TNA Impact.
Okay.
Did I say TNA Impact is separate entities?
Yes.
So let me try that again. WWE, AEW, TNA / Impact,
New
New
Japan.
Japan Pro,
MLW.
MLW,
Pro Wrestling.
huh?
What?
Pro Wrestling Noah.
Pro Wrestling Noah,
That's
I
an
didn't even know about that one.
NWA,
Yes,
Yeah.
Power is still going on.
AAA,
GCW.
AAA, and GCW.
So 9.
L.
Huh?
CMLL.
MLL.
CMLL.
I don't really know about that one.
What is this?
See?
So you know where Los Ingobernables came from? It started there.
Okay.
Andrade, Rouge, all those
Oh,
guys.
okay.
All right. So I guess 10
promotions right now.
So 10 promotions right now. Out of the 10, probably 7 to 8 of them that are pretty known. Because the last one, I don't really know.
Me neither.
I don't really know.
Like,
I'm not even gonna lie to
I'm
you.
about to say,
But back to
Yep.
back to SummerSlam. And then we're gonna round this out at about 8:00, so we can do ring time with Kenny 9, and we can see that glorious footage. I feel like, seeing as though this was a solid pay-per-view, it could have been shit. It could have been absolute garbage. It could have been. You gave it a 6, but the majority of us said 7, so we're gonna round that about to like 6.98. We'll say 6.98.
Let me put it this way.
Average.
The fact that they were holding tryouts the day before the pay-per-view,
Mhm.
and I shared that report in the group chat that
Yep.
a lot of people got hurt.
Yep.
And the minute that report came out, they said they were more open to accepting
Hiring independent wrestlers again. Yep.
So
and you know Triple H loves his indie wrestlers.
Mm-hmm. And that just basically opens up more opportunities for me and the guys I train with and who I'm trained by.
Mm-hmm.
So right now, the wrestling world is my oyster, because right now I have so many options if I keep building myself up.
That's good. That's good. As far as what this means for the E, and with AEW, they don't release people. They let their contracts run out. Triple H being in creative, a lot of those wrestlers that signed with AEW could come back to the E.
But they got signed to long contracts, lucrative contracts.
Mhm.
Not all of them. Adam Cole, definitely. He's not being his contract doesn't expire until 2027. So I know Adam Cole is going to be with AEW for a long time. And even if that was the case, all of his friends are there. So I don't see him really going back to the E for a long while.
You mean all except one?
Huh? All except one, but Roderick Strong is probably going to end up going to AEW. I don't see him re-signing with NXT. I don't see it.
I do, depending on what happens with Triple H, because honestly, I think Triple H will push him to the NXT title.
Yeah, that's very true. And and Triple H did say he would start putting his hand in NXT again. So
on top of that, he definitely has the Diamond Mine to back him. So, and the Creed brothers are already tag champions. So, so
that would be cool.
The star that we already know him to be.
Yeah, that's valid. And plus, Bronson Breakker, he just needs to be on the main roster. Bronson Breakker could have a rivalry with Bobby Lashley.
Yeah, I mean,
hey, you're getting the monster face against the big strong rookie, and it's big meaty men slapping meat. Can't go wrong with that.
True.
And the thing is, Braun Breaker is actually more athletic than his size would suggest.
Yep.
They're both freakishly athletic.
Mm-hmm.
And Cody, for all he is up there in age. He's not going to bounce back from injuries like he used to.
He's gonna retire at the top, or he's gonna get I told this to everyone else here. I'm saying this again so you can hear it. Cody's going to come back. He's going to win the Rumble. He's going to go to WrestleMania. He's going to dethrone Roman Reigns, and then Theory's going to cash in on him.
They can't afford to put the title on Theory.
Not right now.
No, I mean, it's not like Seth, who was already an indie darling and who had a lot of backing. Theory may be an indie darling, but this character that he got him doing, it's not going to go over. Like,
no, I mean, but it'll give him heat, though.
Yeah, but there's go away heat, and sometimes the best thing. Like,
I mean, but he
at nuclear go away.
Very quickly.
I feel like though that can be used to your advantage. Having that go away nuclear heat, because Miz had it and he made that shit work. And now Miz is beloved. Basically, Miz definitely had that go away heat.
Yeah.
Especially when he cashed in and became a WWE champion. Shoot, we got a whole meme because of that man. Angry Miz girl.
Yeah, little girl.
Did we forget?
But
same thing could easily happen to Theory. And he looks like the type that will make that go away heat work.
Yeah, but now we have Miz as a two-time WWE champion, and he has to literally flounder around the mid card and go against Select to get over.
Yeah. Very quickly, can we talk about how good Michael Cole was on commentary?
Oh, Michael Cole was amazing. He felt liberated.
Yeah.
Well,
when he said, well, when Corey Graves said, I miss when you didn't have an opinion, and Michael Cole said, well, that's changed. A lot has changed. I was just like, I heard that.
Corey Graves had me cracking up too.
He can say what he want.
Corey
we gonna get Michael Cole when he was with Taz back in the early SmackDown era.
Right. For the love of God, count faster.
Yes. We're not gonna get any more the vintage anything unless he genuinely means it. Because I know that's just part of his lingo now. But he's not gonna use it as frequently.
Thank God.
But you felt that. He definitely put on some good commentary. Michael Cole went hard in the paint.
Yeah.
He used it so often with Orton that rope hung DDT is literally called vintage in the WWE Champions mobile game.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Like, used it so often with Orton that now it's really a thing.
That's hilarious. I'm sure he was laughing at that too. I'm sure he's made that a meme. He's made that a meme basically. But Michael Cole was definitely on. Oh, when he was talking back to Corbin too, I was just like, commentators don't do that.
Yeah, they do.
That Michael. Now I haven't seen it not in recent. Well, AEW obviously, because most of the commentators were wrestlers. So,
did you forget the whole Attitude Era when let Triple H have it every show.
I mean, yeah.
I mean,
yeah. I mean, that's JR though. JR is in a whole different caliber. JR is in a whole different league.
Cole's been doing this now. Michael Cole's been doing this since 1990s.
That's true, but Michael was always different. There've been different eras of Michael Cole where JR has been the same in every era. Honestly, there's been different eras of Michael Cole, and I think a lot of people what people hated about Michael Cole was during the Miz era, where he was always capping for the Miz, and the era when he was reading stuff off the laptop. I think that's what made people hate Michael Cole.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Yeah, that kind of made people sour on Cole, but no one really remembers WCW Jim Ross.
No, I'm drawing blanks myself.
Like
he was. I gotta go back in memory. Yeah, you're right. He was.
Jim Ross been at this for over 50 years. I mean, he wasn't always with the E.
He wasn't, but he was goated in the E. His commentary was unmatched, bar none. Sorry, Michael Ronaldo. Sorry, Mike. Sorry, Nigel McGuinness. You're good too, though.
Speaking of which, so AEW is actually trying to hire Mauro Ronaldo. And he went over to Bellator.
Yeah, he said he wasn't going to do professional wrestling for a long period of time.
Thanks, JBL.
Yeah, thanks for that.
JBL was decent on commentary too.
He just messed up personally with his hazing culture in the locker room. And the whole mental health thing being like a serious issue.
Yeah.
Then also, let's not forget Dusty Rhodes on commentary. WCW.
Yep. Wasn't he on commentary? Oh no, he wasn't on commentary during the Dusty Rhodes Classic. That would have been nice though. That would have been nice, but he passed.
And then Booker T on commentary sounded like Randy Savage on commentary for the E in the early 90s.
Yep.
Legendary.
Yep.
But and then let's not forget Brian Pillman used to do commentary.
Oh, that's one I didn't know. I didn't know that.
I didn't
know that at all.
So a lot of people forget when Brian Pillman got signed by the E in the late 90s, he was coming off of a serious car accident, a foot injury.
Right. Shawn Michaels was on commentary too because he wasn't wrestling for a while as well. Yep. Oh, I'm so sorry. We veered off too much. Dang it, Kenny. Dang it. But final thoughts on SummerSlam and what this could mean for WWE going forward. Now that Triple H is head of creative.
So the way I see it, they're making overtures to both Naomi and Sasha Banks.
You're going to try and get them back. Triple H is going to try and get them back, definitely.
Who are going to be in Chicago this week. Both Naomi and Sasha Banks are going to be at C2E2.
Okay.
C2 what?
C2E2.
So Naomi is now part of it, and they're both part of the appearance for here in Chicago.
Okay.
So the whole storyline with Bex standing by Bianca, they're still outnumbered. The way I see it, Charlotte's going to come back, probably side with Bayley and the other heels. Sasha and Naomi come out to even the odds. That's the best way to write it.
And you get your faction. Are you happy now, Kukai?
I will be happy.
That's what it is.
There's our first Survivor Series match.
There you go.
That's what it looks like. Now, the question is, that leaves a power vacuum for SmackDown. Liv and Ronda can't carry that women's division on SmackDown forever.
Can't do it now. They didn't do it last night.
That people have with the Liv and Ronda match was Liv looked weak. However,
which is what Kareem just said.
I said alternatively, a better finish would have been have Liv in pain still. The pain was great because she looked like the underdog. She was going to be the underdog going against Ronda anyway. I knew this, right? but have her still pin Ronda, but not tap out. You know what I'm saying? Have her gotten the same pin. Ronda being confused and feeling like she was screwed was great, but everything was great except the tap out, because now you made Liv look. That's what made Liv look weak. At least
it was a good finish because it was believable. Let's face it. How many times did Liv escape the armbar until Ronda finally caught her?
she escaped it a good amount of times. She reversed it a couple times.
Exactly. The minute Ronda, we all knew the minute Ronda caught her, it was over.
Right.
Yeah.
So her tapping out at the last second when the referee counted 3 made sense in story-wise.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. It comes off as a dusty finish. But at the end of the day, it was believable.
But this is my problem. This is my problem with it. And this is my problem with Liv as champion. As hot as she was, as over as she was. I said this earlier. I'm going to say it again. And if people come across this video and hate me for it, I'll understand why. I totally get it. And this is not to shade Liv. She is still too early for her to become champion, even with her winning Money in the Bank and everything. Because unless Ronda was going to lead after Money in the Bank, because see, if Ronda would have left, okay, great. Now you can start to build her as someone credible, even though she's an underdog, right? She's not built like Bianca. Okay. I would have had someone else. Shoot, Natalia or someone. Natalia, they're never gonna have Natalia as a champion, but she's a good workhorse.
She's already been champion.
She's already been champion as that as well. I would have had Liv get one over on Natalia or someone. Start building her up, then having Ronda come back, because then she could be seen as more of a legitimate contender, and we wouldn't have gotten the tap out pin, even though she still probably would have been in pain because it's Ronda Rousey. You get what I'm saying? But you made her first opponent Ronda freaking Rousey.
Because think about it, it was a rematch clause. So usually,
and they said they would stop doing that. Remember that?
Yeah, but
remember that
new regime, and well, this was Vince doing.
All right,
this is doing.
Yeah, but it's whatever on that. I get the rematch clause. I get that. But damn.
Now, there's talk of the draft being held in August or September. And if we recall last year, the last WWE draft was in October.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
hopefully they stick to it and no intermixing of the roster.
So here's what I see happening.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like with Triple H at the helm, they're gonna, actually ration out the women properly this time, because let's look who's all on Raw. You have Bayley, you have Eve, you have Dakota, you have Bianca, you have Bex,
Rhea,
Carmella.
Carmella technically, yeah. Zelina, Doudrop,
everybody,
Alexa,
the whole darn thing.
Yeah,
women.
Yeah,
that's women right there. Who do we have on SmackDown? Liv, Ronda, Shayna, Natalia,
Charlotte.
Yeah, Charlotte. I think Tamina's still there.
Tamina, yeah.
Zia.
Yep, Xia Li.
See what I'm saying? It's not even.
It's not even.
So, and then out of everyone else, now out of all the women that are still on the SmackDown roster, who else has been built up besides Charlotte, Ronda, and Liv?
No one.
And that's the problem.
Xia Li would have, but she kept injuring folks. And Shayna should have been built up a long time ago.
Exactly. Shayna's lost all Oh, where's Asuka? Raw.
Oh shit, Raw. Yep. Oh, we get Io Shirai versus Asuka now. Yes. Hell yes.
So there's a large
Give me
problem.
what I want. I'm sorry.
There's too many holes on the SmackDown women's roster, as you can see.
Yeah.
Need Sasha Banks and Naomi.
Mhm.
Or actually invest in it, everyone they called up from NXT.
Mm.
Wait, where's Shotzi? SmackDown. What is she doing?
Nothing.
Aaliyah.
Right.
Where is she? SmackDown. What is she doing? Nothing.
They released all these women and didn't have a plan for some of the women that they called up just to fill spots.
Mm.
And that one of their horsewomen, excuse me, two of their horsewomen are out of the picture at the moment. It's looking shallow. They need to stop putting the whole division on four women's shoulders.
Yep.
And actually respect them for carrying the division and actually build up these newer talents that they called up, like Bianca and Rhea.
Yep. That's why I'm glad. The finish was how. Because say what you want about Becky, Becky is probably one of the most giving out of the four horsewomen on the women's roster.
Now, here's the problem here's what I'm going to say about that. Charlotte is probably just as giving. It's just that Vince had a hard on for her and didn't listen.
Yep.
Because Charlotte wanted to lose to Bianca.
Yep. Oh, do you realize what we could call Bianca will be the horsewoman slayer? Do you realize that? If all she needs to do is beat Charlotte now. Beating Becky, Bailey, Banks. You put Charlotte Flair on Bianca's a certified star. She already is, but beating Charlotte Flair, the final boss of the women's division. Oh yeah.
Asuka actually already has that title.
I mean, yeah. Yeah, she's beaten them all. She has beaten them all.
Yep. And on pay-per-view.
I mean, we haven't seen Asuka in forever, though. Asuka's kind of like part-timer. So I feel like Bianca, the horsewoman slayer, has a nice ring to it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, something. Horsewoman. Yeah. I don't care. I don't care what you call it. It is what it is. It is what it is.
Technically, Ronda has too.
I mean, yeah. Yeah, Ronda too. Yeah.
Only she hasn't won with Becky. I don't think.
That's right. No, she hasn't.
Oh, never mind. She didn't beat.
Thank God. I was about to say. So it's a little depressing.
So the smart move here would be actually to move Becky to SmackDown or Ronda to Raw for that to happen. Matter of fact, where's Dana Brooke?
That is an excellent question. Being an ambassador with Titus O'Neil, I guess.
Then Sonya Deville's on both, I want to say.
She was managerial, so yeah, that's why I don't like the mixing of the roster. That's why I don't like that. When you do a draft, stick to your guns and keep the draft as it is. The only time there should be intermixing is during Survivor Series season, where both teams are fighting one another. That's all. That's all it should be.
And honestly, I'm just waiting to see when Ava Rain finally debuts
on NXT.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just waiting to see where this goes.
Okay.
Because it seems like they're going to give her a lot of fanfare.
Well, she'll have to share that fanfare with Nikita Lyons. I'm sorry, Nikita Lyons. I'm so sorry. The internet's got me calling her different names for all the wrong reasons.
They're not a title on Nikita that early.
They aren't. early, but you know they will eventually. You
And
know they will.
About Lash Legend, she may be raw, but she's definitely going to be a workhorse.
Yeah, eventually.
Like, that's why I said keeping Roderick Strong in NXT was a strategic move. Because Roddy has been in the business for years. Like, he's a elder statesman. And if anyone can be like a player coach, it's him.
He can. I can definitely see that for him. But we're already over time and we need to get your time in. So I guess we are under the consensus that WWE seems to have a future on its head now. Seems. We will see. Like I said, if Triple H being in power changes absolutely nothing, by the time we hit Survivor Series, then that whole Triple H running WWE theory that we had was a pipe dream, and it meant absolutely nothing.
When the old man still got 80%.
I mean, but the old man didn't want Bayley to have her faction. And Bayley got her faction.
I hear it. But again, we've got 5 weeks to see how it plays out. Because the old man has been pushed around for a little bit, but long term,
we're gonna see
what he wants.
We're gonna see. I mean, I'm sure he didn't want Theory getting beat up on television either, but Theory's getting beat up on television.
True.
Yeah. And I think that
Vince was protecting
Roman,
that boy. Now he got to get it up out the mud.
Yeah, and I think that Roman actually beating Brock with the briefcase like he did was basically payback for 2 years ago, or 2 or 3 years ago.
Refresh my memory.
So remember when Roman was
got the Money in the Bank at the end and he walked in?
Wait.
So Brock beat Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns with the briefcase a few years ago in their match.
Oh, yeah.
And then Roman did it this year when Theory tried to come out and cash in. And he beat the hell out of Brock with the briefcase.
Long term.
Hey, that's long-term storytelling for you.
True.
I love how he beat on Theory first. He said, "You stupid son of a..."
So September 3rd is Clash at the Castle. Drew versus Roman.
Roman goes over. I'm sorry, Kenny. International pay-per-views hold no place in my heart. They do nothing for me. They do absolutely nothing. I'm looking past that pay-per-view towards Survivor Series.
You do realize that SummerSlam was an international pay-per-view, right?
I mean, yeah, in that sense, yeah.
Was.
WrestleMania 18, also an international pay-per-view.
Who?
WrestleMania 18 and 6, international pay-per-view.
I mean,
come on, man. WrestleMania is WWE.
It's WrestleMania. It's WrestleMania.
Yeah, it's WrestleMania.
But
whether it's overseas or not doesn't stop it from
purposeful. Let me be specific. Purposeful, and you know it's international. Like the name suggests, it's international. What kind of pay-per-view is named Clash at the Castle? There are no castles in the United States.
There are. We don't call them castles. We call them plantation heads.
Stop it.
Mansions.
Stop it right now. Stop it. No, sir. A castle is a castle, and a mansion is a mansion, and a plantation is a plantation. We are not about to bastardize the English language. It's already a bastard language enough. We are not about to do this. No, sir. I mean,
bear in mind, they also thought about holding a WrestleMania in China.
Stop. How?
What we're gonna do? We're gonna rumble at the walls. Stop. Let me stop right there because I might be giving them ideas. Nope. We're going to stop right there. I'm stopping you right there.
Battle at Tiananmen Square.
Shoot. AEW's got a Forbidden Door. The Forbidden Kingdom pay-per-view.
You know, and
Red Door pay-per-view. That's horrible, dude. It's horrible, dude. No.
Please stop.
fact, WWE had one of the non-forward big pay-per-views in Canada.
I mean, that's Canada though. Canada is synonymous with wrestling. Can we really call Canada international? It's literally right there on the it's literally right there by the US border. That's like saying Mexico's international.
Canada says enough as is.
And what?
The fact that you need a passport to get into Canada says enough.
I mean, that's true.
But Kitty,
but it's literally on the US border like Mexico. So it's like it is, but it ain't.
Right. I mean, there are people in Niagara Falls, they go across, party, and come right back. The Amish literally walk over and
like
come right
I
back.
could see if I could see it from New York, it's not international to me.
True.
I can't see Jamaica from Miami. Okay. Yeah, I can't see the United Kingdom from New York, or from California for that matter.
Or from California. Hilarious.
I'm just being honest. But we're gonna shut up now.
2 points, man. 2 points. 2-point play, man.
Hey, but shout out to Triple H for some of the surprises that we got. I'm looking forward to seeing how this new WWE performs. May it be great. And if it's terrible, then to Vince McMahon, should you come across this video, I am apologizing for thinking that it was you being the reason that the company was so shitty, because apparently it was not just you.
That's cold. That's cold.
But if Triple H does
in fact
change it for the better, which I believe he is, then yes, Vince McMahon, it was all your fault. You get no apology. And everything I just said was a lie.
Correct. I want to say, come on, man.
Hey, but we got to see. Time will tell. We got to let it play out. This is just day one officially.
If they gave us $159,000, IWC notwithstanding, we would be better in creative than what they currently have. Period.
I mean, hey, we already got rid of Bruce Pritchard and Kevin Dunn is on his way out. So we'll see. Change is slow. Now, if you get Paul Heyman and Mick Foley up in there as part of creative, then, and Triple H said so himself, I'm open to hearing ideas from the wrestlers, from the staff. Like, I genuinely want this to change. So he's aware of the stigma, of the stench. He's aware.
Good.
But enough of us talking about the E. We're going to break on over to the indie circuit. It's time for Ring Time with Kenny 9. We couldn't do this last week because we didn't have footage to share. But this week we have footage to share. This is from an 11-minute match. We're gonna turn the volume up on here. I'm gonna full screen this. Can you let me know if you all can see it?
I can.
Please, Kenny, if you can provide commentary for this match, because this is your match. You'd be able to tell us what's going on better than anyone else. Kakai and I will be on mute. And the floor is yours, and we're gonna press play. I'll pause when you ask me to.
All right. Wanted to make sure that his first match was gonna put him over, and the logic thinking that I've already performed for this company already once. And I didn't go over because I was a new face. He's a brand new face. And the crowd here is very critical. Like, they'll call you a puto right out the gate. Whether you're a heel or face.
Wow. He said they'll call you a puto. That's crazy. All righty. Let's press play. Pressing play. There we go. I had turned the volume down so you can do proper commentary.
There you go. And the announcer would be encouraging them as well.
That referee's got blue hair. That would not be allowed anywhere else.
Yeah, he's also someone I train with.
Nice.
Yep, the whole crowd calling him a puto.
Oh. Not you with the theme music.
Yep.
Okay, Kenny. Kukai, feel free to share your commentary about this as well. Okay.
All right.
I like the gear. The crowd loves you.
Mm-hmm.
Glasses are nice. Changing colors, very nice. Not you taking pictures.
Yep, the crowd always wants you to take pictures. Like,
oh, the first dude made that mistake, I see.
You cleanly got over the top rope. The other guy almost hurt himself.
Yep.
Not the
slight
botch. Slight botch. It's okay. All right.
And now I can actually land on my feet and do that.
Now you can actually what?
Land on my feet.
Nice. Practice makes perfect. I love the announcer. I love the commentator.
So they love character work here. Like, they want to be part of the show as much as anybody.
Oh, he's checking to make sure your gear is good.
Yeah. So they want to do face on face.
That boy is not over as a face. I'm telling you that right now.
Well, he still hadn't even got his gear yet.
The gear and the collar and elbow tie-up immediately broken up. The height advantage and the speed advantage might indeed be for Vanitas, who's got an MMA background.
All right, clean lock in. Ooh.
He's an all-around player, and I think he can handle the pressure.
Nice.
That was pretty crafty by Vanitas, dragging down Kenny Nine by his head, using his legs. A smart alert move to start for Vanitas.
Okay. A little cocky.
And then he also has to learn how to adjust with his height a little bit. I gotta work on that too.
You're breaking up, Kenny. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
Yeah.
Great with striking. Let's see if his MMA background will be too much for Kenny Nine to handle thus far. Counter reversal, a counter. Let's see how he stands out and strikes up.
All right, nice selling. Nice selling.
Big shots early. If it were up to Vanitas, he'd try to hit the V trigger. He likes to call it Williams' knee.
Okay.
His knees and elbows might be a difference maker as he runs in the corner with a big uppercut to the
Oh, that was dirty.
Vanitas on the run. Connects with a nice low kick to the
Yeah, I ate that one.
Yeah, I'm about to say, wow, dude.
That was a little stiff.
Kenny Nine already. And Nine might be out on his own feet. This could end early. Check this out.
Nope.
Kenny Nine with a
Nope,
Reverse.
counter.
Spinning neck breaker.
Sweet
Very
neck
nice.
breaker.
one of his signature moves. He
One. He kicks out on one.
Too early in the match for Kenny Nine in this one.
I hope his
Yeah.
neck is okay. He might actually hurt that boy.
Style the neck breaker. That's my thing, man.
And we will see what he will bring. Will he indeed hit the final level here this evening as he tries to pick up Vanitas, but he tried to block.
Ooh.
Ah,
Ooh.
dude.
Dangerous drop right onto the back of his head and neck. And Vanitas is hurt.
You might
You
actually.
okay?
You might have hurt that boy. Is
No.
he okay?
He's good. He's good. Trust. Crowd was
That
saying
was
one
great
more.
selling. I mean, I was sold on it right there. Like, good grief. Roll you back in there.
It's definitely good selling.
Nine was having some success on the inside of the ring. That's where he would prefer to keep the action between the
Butterfly neck breaker.
nice double underhook.
3 of them, man. Dude.
Just wiping the floor with
You sure you're the face, Kenny?
And at this moment, just that slight muscle, that slight front, that slight aggressive edge, that intensity factor, that futuristic vision. It's enough to keep him in the driver's seat in this one. These are new stars that are trying to make a name for themselves in the scene and would like to prove themselves in LLT.
Ooh, very clean drop
Oh,
kick.
oh, dude.
Very
Oh,
nice.
okay, come on. I get a 2 count before kick out. 1, 2.
He snuck that shoulder up just in time.
Got that boy on the ropes.
Of an essence here. And Kenny Nine knows how to play possum and wait for the right opportunity to strike at the best opportunity. Watch out. Vanitas was waiting with the shoulder thrust.
He hurt his knee here.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. He kind of buckled it just a little bit. You got to put some more meat on them knee on that leg.
Yeah. And I ate a lot of his kicks. I ate.
Oof. Yeah, but he messed up his knee. Like I see him buckle.
Mm-hmm. So everything from here on in is gonna be improvised.
Because of his injury?
Yep.
Ooh, you ate that?
Yeah, I did. I had no idea what he was gonna do there. And I know his knee was hurting him, so that's why I was like, man, I don't know what.
That's some trust right there, then.
Mm-hmm. Like we've been training with each other.
Super kick.
Nope.
Running knee. Flash kick.
Get out.
My hand on the rope.
The Oblivion's knee was almost the signal of the end for Kenny Nine, but a lot of this has to do with ring positioning. Being alert in the ring at where you are at any and all times. Both swinging for the fences.
I can definitely see you all communicating with one another.
The knee smash counter. Oh, yeah. Forearm right in the back of the head. He nearly crack whipped him right there.
Ooh.
Another
Clean
knee.
knee. Clean knee.
Thing is, he's doing it with an injured knee. That's what killed me. And I took it and I sold it out of the ring.
You good sport. You are a good sport.
And we
Got a
opened.
receipt from me.
We opened the show.
Okay.
And although Vanitas has had signs of brilliance, Kenny Nine has been the aggressor at several moments in this match as well. As soon as the match
And really, me knowing he's hurt, I'm trying to get the match over with.
And go home. He's trying to keep it
He's
going.
prolonging it.
Yep. And this was his move. This is where it all went wrong.
Oh, sir.
Oh,
And then he threw my arm down and then kicked with the bad leg. And then, yep. And I lost all feeling in my arm after that. And I was like, why would you kick with the leg that you know you hurt?
Sir, yeah, you would have got it. You messed up.
Into it. So I just took it home here and then set him up for the finish.
It's Kenny 9.
Oh,
And then put him over. Sell it to the ref to try to give him time. Because I was telling him that was 2. I kicked out.
yeah, that boy. You were doing a little bit. I mean, props to him for sticking it out that long with the injured knee.
And
But
then
some of those things he should not have done.
I put him over.
Good stuff.
True.
And gave him the ring.
Oh, he got over with the injured knee. How bad was the injury?
He wasn't walking on his own power back.
Oh,
He buckled his knee badly. And so the minute I realized he was hurt, I was trying to take it home.
Right.
But I still knew that I needed to put him over because we were both faces. And I was still doing my typical move set, I have a neck breaker for every situation.
You have a neck breaker for every situation, obviously.
Yeah. I know
obviously.
Yep. I know how to do moonlight drive. I know how to do swinging neck breakers. That the fisherman neck breaker, what you guys were like, ooh.
Yeah, because I was like, you sure you ain't heard that boy? Because that boy look hurt. He looked hurt.
No, that was his selling. Like, that's the move I practiced numerous times.
He looked like, no offense to him, he looked like he needed to put some more meat on his body so he could take the moves a little better.
Believe it or not, we're not that far apart in weight. He just carries it a lot differently. Like, I'm at best 7 pounds heavier than he is, but I'm shorter than him. So I look more compact than he does, but he's taller and longer.
And lankier.
Exactly.
Well,
but that's what kind of threw off a bit of my timing. Like, that first kick, like that kick in the corner, that face wash boot, it looked like I ate that. I did get my hand up, but I didn't get it up in enough time, so I ate part of it.
Right.
And I sold it too. I sold the hell out of that one.
You sure? Yeah. I was like, that boy gone. Whole tooth flew out in the audience. Someone picked it up and said, oh, I got souvenir.
But we definitely both got over with that match.
That was good. That was definitely a good match. We're looking forward to the next one. It is now 8:30. We've done an hour, 2 hours and 30 minutes. It's crazy.
All right by me, man.
Next week, for episode 3, we'll be back on our covering multiple wrestling circuits BS. Today was all about SummerSlam, but now we'll get to see how Raw and SmackDown performed this past week. We'll see what AEW's attempting to do. And yeah.
See what Gresham's gonna do.
Huh?
The octopus.
He wrestled.
Huh?
Gresham wrestled tonight at Ric Flair's show.
Oh,
Yeah,
and we also get to talk about whether or not Ric Flair lived or not.
You're petty, right?
Because look, listen, I feel as though a lot of people feel like he's going to die in that ring. He's going to do the Mickey Rourke from the Wrestler movie. Like this wrestling shit will be the life and death of him.
Correct.
So yeah,
he needs to stop.
I'm gonna watch. I mean, right now, I think that the Impact World Title match just happened, so I'm just gonna see.
All right. Well, you
Send me the
cover
link,
you
man.
cover that, and you let us know next week, and we will be dissecting that. Because Ric Flair, if you ever do come across this video, you need to stay your ass out the ring.
Out of the ring.
Find other things to do.
Other things
There's
to
a
do.
fine line between passion and obsession, and you are borderlining obsession. You are not Sting.
No.
You are not Taker. You are not Jeff Hardy.
I've been watching him all my life. All my life. Since when I was a wee little lad, I've been hearing him and seen him. It's a damn shame, man. Man shouldn't be in the ring at 73 years old.
Time for him to stop. Cease.
True.
And desist. But
as bad as Buddy Rogers. Buddy Rogers did the same thing, though. Buddy Rogers did the same thing. The original Nature Boy did the same thing. He was 73, 74 years old and making them young boys take bumps for him.
And he was also called the Nature Boy.
Oh boy.
He's the original.
If I were to ever step in the wrestling ring, I ain't calling myself the Nature Nothing, because clearly there's a stigma attached. But that has been another successful episode of the Brotherhood of Wrestling podcast. Please like, share, and subscribe. Leave your thoughts and comments down below in the comment section. That's Kenny9. That is Kukai. And we will see you next time. Peace. Live, love, life, and wrestling.